What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Horrorheads podcast. I am Rich Mallery here with my co-host, Jerry Lourenco.
How's it going?
It's going all right. As you can see, I'm trying to find the perfect spot to do this podcast from. We've been in my dingy office, which every time we have a guest on and they have a cool setup, I'm kind of depressed about, like the fact that I don't have a setup yet. So until I redo my office, I'll be moving around. So giving y'all a different view into my world. So you can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast or email us your love and hate to horrorheadspodcast@gmail.com. Today we're going to do something a little different than we normally do. So usually we pick like 2 to 3 movies and we'll talk about those movies in depth, and we'll do some drinking games and some other shit along the way. But tonight we're going to do a little different. If you listen to our episode, the last episode we did, we kicked off Jerry's 31 Nights, his Horrorheads Challenge, 31 Nights of Horror, where you need to watch a different horror movie tied to a theme every night. And what we thought we'd do today is we would just talk about the movies we've watched so far. I believe we're through 6 days in October, which means we've watched 7 movies because there was one double up. And to make it a little more interesting for us and for y'all at home, we are going to play a little drinking game tied to each movie. Simple. And if you've followed us all of these many, many years we've been doing this podcast, well, 1.5. You'll know that we do drinkings tied to ratings. So what we're gonna do is for each day we're gonna talk about each movie we watched. We're gonna give it our rating 0 to 5, and then the opposite person's gonna drink those sips to keep it interesting. So yeah, it's 7 movies is a lot to drink to, but this might be a shorter episode, so we pack it a lot in. But this is what we do. These are the sacrifices we make for our fans. So I hope you're all ready.
35 sips if they're all bangers,
Mine definitely are not all bangers. So you are probably very lucky. So let's just get into some drinking. I have nothing. I usually try to drink something new every episode, but I'm trying to get rid of this redemption bourbon that I bought a few weeks ago. So I'm going to be sipping on that tonight. Hopefully this takes a nice dent out of it. So what do you have there?
I got a gang over here.
Oh, the Cuddy.
Cuddy Sark. Yeah, I got the Cuddy Sark.
So like I've never had Cuddy, but I always see it, and I know it's one of those like cheaper old school bourbons. And I'll be honest, like I was telling you, like I kind of want to get into it. I feel like it's kind of badass if you go to the bar and that's what you order. I feel like that's a move. So I kind of want to try it. So let me know what you think of it.
A few things here. So this is the whiskey that was kept at my house. Like when I was growing up, my father always had like a bottle of this, and this was always considered like the good stuff. So like whenever people came by or they were having like a get together or a party or something like that, he had to go get a bottle of the Cuddy. I had a rich uncle, and this is all he used to drink. So he used to wear his Rolex and drink Cuddy Sark.
Okay.
And he lived and died by it. So this another interesting story here is when I was younger, like maybe like young teens, maybe tween age. I used to get like really, really sick. I used to get like these really bad respiratory infections and I'd be coughing all night. Well, my mother always used to like pour me a shot of this exact whiskey right here and make me take a shot of it, and maybe at like 11, 12 years old. And let me tell you something, this shit is medicinal. It will cure a cough in like 20 minutes. So you could be like coughing your ass off and then you take a shot of this and like 20 minutes later, you're like, what happened?
So Cuddy for a cough.
I don't know if you're drunk or if it just happens to work. So I'm definitely gonna cheers this right now. I'm gonna cheers this one to my father who's no longer with us. And
Cheers.
Say cheers.
So it's funny that you say that because they always say when you're sick, you're not supposed to drink because it lowers your immune system. But there's plenty of times where I'm just like, fuck it. I just like, I don't like, I'm already feeling like shit. Like I might as well just forget. So I've been known to use the old medicine. So tell me about this Cuddy. Like describe it for us.
This is packed with flavor. This shit is woodsy and grassy and earthy for sure. It's like probably all those things about whiskey just like magnified. So it's definitely a Scotch blended whiskey. It's 90 proof.
Oh
It
wow.
burns. It's light. It's light colored.
That looks
But
like water.
yeah, but it has
Hold on, like put your glass up. I'm gonna put mine up and we're gonna compare
yeah,
the two.
yeah, it's a big
Like,
difference.
yeah.
Um, it's light. I definitely said that, but it doesn't feel that way. It packs a punch. Can I get into it? I better because I bought a gang of it.
Oh,
So
that is a big bottle.
it has a handle on this, So I was tired of like buying like these little things of bourbon. So the other day I got bored and I just got on like Uber Eats and they had like some sort of deal. So I bought a gang of this and a gang of Canadian Club. So you're gonna see both of them frequently on this show. And I just want everyone to know, everyone who's listening, who's a dear, very, very close friend of mine who comes to my house for some whiskey and cheese and likes to listen to vinyl with me, I guarantee you it's not the Canadian Club in the decanter. It is Blue Label and it costs $220. It is definitely not the Canadian Club.
Even though we see six gangs of it like in the
It's
corner.
not. It's not. That's for me. That's for me. I wouldn't do that to my friends. I only give you guys the best. I will drink the cheap stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
never put the cheap stuff in the decanter and try to
yeah.
pretend like it's high end. I'll never do that. Yeah.
So
So
you know what I
question
say,
is
Rich?
the cutting
I say do it. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, does it taste like a J and B with kick
Yeah,
or
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
It tastes exactly like J&B. It tastes like a less filtered white label. Like it doesn't have like I'm not getting a lot of charcoal from this. Hold on, let me try it again. Mm-mm. No, I'm not getting any charcoal. Like no charcoal from this. It don't have that nice charcoal. It just has like all those like those scotched kind of taste to it. Like just like it's like I'm chewing grass kind of right now. It's definitely like that. I say get it. I think it's a fun drink. I think it's a drink that would probably go really well with water. I know a lot of people
Cuddy
do
and
like a
water.
cutty of
Sounds good.
water. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a classic probably from like the 70s 80s. I think that's a classic drink. I think that's how everyone used to drink it. I am drinking it just on ice. But I say get it if you're looking for a bargain and some from bang for the buck, you know. And if you need something to mix in soda or something like that, I mean, this is what you do. You don't want to mix like your Woodford or something like
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
there,
I'm
you
gonna pick
know.
it up for next episode just because I do wanna try it and I wanna get into it. I feel
I'm
like
I
if we're
mean
gonna
I
set a trend, like let's
yeah,
set the
I
Cuddy
mean
trend.
look I mean I love the label. There's like an old ship on it. It's like
Yeah,
it
it looks like
reminds
something your grandpa like or a homeless guy would
yeah,
drink. So it looks
like the
perfect.
woman sitting, in the corner of the Merkin Lounge is definitely drinking this all night before she like hits on you, and it's 3 a.m. and you think about it, but because you've been drinking the Cuddy as well. But yeah, so I say, try it. Is this the best drink I ever had? Absolutely not. Is it in the top 10? I wouldn't even say it's in the top 100, but I'm gonna drink this and I'm gonna enjoy it. So.
Yeah. No, that's what it's about, man. It's not about good or bad. It's about whether you enjoy it. The redemption, like I've
Yeah,
talked
remind
about
me about
before,
that. No, I don't
it
remember what you
it just tastes like bourbon. Like there's nothing
mm,
really notable about it. Has a bit of an aftertaste, which I don't like, but it's fine. It's got a little bit of that sweet caramel. It's got some of the graininess.
mm,
It's it's low. What is it? 44. I'm sorry, 88 proof. So it's a
88.
little higher than like a breakfast bourbon. It's okay. It's drinkable. Would I ever buy it? No, but I bought it because it was buy one to get one for a nickel. So I'm not mad at that. And but now I just want to get rid of it at this point so I can move on to some other things because I've been drinking a lot of it lately.
Well, I mean, if they have some nickel cutty, I recommend that. But I think this giant thing cost me $30.
Mm.
So,
That's
and
enough to
it's
feed a family of four
yeah,
for a month.
I think it's 1 point 7.5 liters of bourbon. So it's there's enough here for quite some time. I actually don't even have any room for it. I just been leaving it out because there's like this is no
It's like
room.
furniture.
I don't
Yeah.
have like I don't have any. It's not going in my display. I don't. My cabinet is stocked with I have a gang of 101. I have a gang of the Canadian. Now I
Leave
have a
one in the bathroom just in case
yeah,
you're in the shower.
just
You
in
know?
case, you get bored or I really just leave it out for anyone walking by, if they just kind of like just get bored, they want to just take a slug,
It's a
go
conversation
for it.
starter.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, hey man, oh, can I have that? That's why it's out.
Yeah, right. The stuff you can't have is the stuff that's over here, like the stuff that's
Stuff in the
locked up.
decanter, in the decanter.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
free.
have
That you can
that.
have that.
You can
Oh
have the
man.
cutty, not the decanter, because it's not Canadian Club,
All right,
which
I think we're
costs
gonna start something.
$33.
I think we're Cuddy Sark Incorporated, like whoever is the owner of the company, probably like Seagrams or something. Send us some. We'll keep talking about it, and we're gonna make it a trend this winter.
Yeah,
It's gonna be the thing.
for sure. And
Um,
I was definitely today years old when I realized that's not Cuddy Shark. I thought it was Cuddy
oh,
Shark this whole time. It's Cuddy Sark. And right before we got on air here, I looked at it and I think I had to look 3 times because I'm like, what is happening with my eyes? I'm like, how does that not say shark? I always thought it was shark.
oh, that's funny,
I never heard anyone finish like this sentence. Like they just call it Cuddy,
right?
So I don't. I sort of ship. I thought it was shark. I don't know, but yeah.
And,
So
and again, it's one of those things where it's like we've never been really looking for it, so like we're
no,
not like
no,
I
no.
walk right. Usually the bottle's on like the bottom
The bottom
shelf,
shelf.
like all the way
Yeah.
to the right. Usually it's like where they keep the cheap shit that nobody really buys. Like that's where it kind of is. So like I always like walk right past that to get to the other stuff. So that's your excuse as to why you don't know what it's
They
called.
usually keep that bottle of wine down there too. What is that like Almaden or something like that? It's like a jug, it looks like a gallon, and it's like that's like $6. I mean, hey,
Hey,
you know what? Getting fucked up is getting fucked up. It doesn't matter, right? Right? How you got there
after like two or three, it doesn't matter what you're drinking. It could be
doesn't
paint thinner,
matter.
right? You just gotta like get through it. So
I
yeah, no. So all
I
right, so
bet.
we're gonna get some fucked up tonight. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Before we kind of get into the movies for the challenge, I did want to talk about. We both went to the theater separately to go see The Conjuring 4, and
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
bringing it up because it comes out on streaming today.
Yeah.
You could buy and rent it, and I figured I wanted to talk about something topical. I think you liked it more than I did. My thoughts are on it were, look, it feels like a Conjuring film. It's probably one of the better of the four. It's definitely better than the third one. I wouldn't say I liked it just because I don't think I'm a fan of these movies in general. But I think if you're a fan of the Conjuring films, it gives you what you want. It's got like the jump scares, it's got the Annabelle doll, it's got a lot on the relationship dynamic between the husband and wife, the Warrens, and their daughter who's now grown. So there's a lot of that. I know people really go to these movies for that romance family angle, and it's definitely got a lot of that. But to me, it didn't really do anything different than any of the other Conjuring films. It was kind of just like, let's put a bunch of scares in a movie. Let's take another case that they worked on and let's do that. So it was fine. Will I ever watch it again? I don't know, maybe. Like I
Hmm.
don't know. I'm like not in any rush to watch it. How did you feel about it?
So I did like it. I thought it was a great experience. I thought it was a great experience in the theater, seeing it on the big screen. I feel like it kind of needed that. I will reserve my final judgment until I watch it again on my smaller screen just to see if I feel the same way. Sometimes you just get wrapped up in the atmosphere of the theater with all the sound, it's coming from all directions, and it's just exciting to kind of be looking at this giant screen. So but my first impression is I liked it a lot. It does feel like an installment of The Conjuring. It also feels like a good installment of The Conjuring. I would probably put it somewhere around second or third, first being the first one, maybe second being the second one. And then this, I think a lot of them kind of fell off. They kind of went a little bit too far, so they kind of went back to the script on this one, and and gave you pretty much exactly like what you wanted. I thought there was a lot of good scares. I thought there was a lot of atmosphere. I definitely don't get bored of the cast. I think they're fantastic. I thought overall it was a good film. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It ran a little long. I
Yeah,
know. I know.
I'm not even
For
gonna say it because yeah, it did run long.
yeah, I mean, it definitely clocked in. I think like 2 hours, right?
It was more. It was like 2 and 20, yeah, which it didn't need to be. But I think they're all kind of long. At least I know the second one's like 2.5. I think the third one's over 2 hours. So they're just long movies in general. And yeah, like if I was making it, like, look, the things I would probably cut down on are the things that people like. Like I would
Yeah,
probably cut down
probably.
on, I would cut down on the drama aspects in the movie, but people really like the drama. Like they like, again, seeing this couple's relationship and how they're tested over time. And so like again, like what I like is very different. But yeah, look, I thought for a Conjuring film it was good. If you're a fan of those films, like I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think, it's, look, it's jump scares and that's really it, right? But so yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not mad I saw it in the theater. Like wasn't pissed I spent money on it. I think it's probably better in the theater, but like you said, I'll reserve judgment till I watch it on my TV and like in the dark and see what happens if I watch it by myself.
so I want to say lately I kind of been getting into like the Warrens. Maybe like a month or two ago, I was at some place and I got to meet their nephew,
Oh, that's cool.
and yeah, and he was really really cool guy. I think his name's John Zaffs, I think his name is. He's like an author. He's cultist, things like that. He goes around basically the country, tells his paranormal stories and things like that. So I got to sit in on like one of his like things. I thought it was really interesting. He's really knowledgeable. He knows a lot. He takes this very 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 seriously.
So they're
Like
not fucking around, the
yeah,
Warrens. Like they weren't like
no,
just
no,
charlatans. Like they're really
no.
into
This,
this.
this guy is probably, I'm guessing, 60 years old. I mean, he dedicated his whole life to it. He's not going anywhere else. Ended up buying a book from him. I was pretty much that moved by like his
Okay.
talk, and I started reading his book and just getting like a sense of like where he started from, and he tells like a lot of like kind of like stories about the Warrens that probably a lot of people don't know because they're like not attached to cases and things like that, but basically like the training that gets involved, and how they got involved. And I'm finding it very very interesting. So this is not normally a subject that I'm into, but I think he was compelling, and it made me kind of like them a little bit more. And then you could kind of translate that over to this film. I felt a little bit closer to this film because I'm like in that mindset right now of the Warrens, and to kind of see like some interpretation on the screen I thought was pretty good. So I do like the Conjuring films. I don't like everything in the universe. There's a lot of films I don't like. A
I
lot
would
of
say
them
I
are
don't like
just
any films in the universe really. And like,
Annabelle's all right.
yeah, I know you like that. I know you like the Annabelle
Yeah.
movies. I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan, as we kind of went through them. They're not terrible. I think the Nun movies are terrible.
Oh,
I never watched La Llorona. I just have no interest in watching that. Not that I don't have interest in the story. It just doesn't look very good to me. And then what else? Is that it, right? Just the Nun, Annabelle, and the Conjuring. That might be it.
I
But
think,
um,
yeah, a lot of people are getting into that Lorona one.
I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah,
I
I haven't
just
checked it. Someone at work keeps telling me to check it out. So if you're listening, Chow, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah,
uh,
I think I started it once, and then 10 minutes in, I just wasn't feeling it. But that's also, I might not have been in the right mood for it.
yeah, that could definitely be it. What I actually kind of mentioning him, I thought it was pretty funny because he was telling me that he was preparing to, checking out the entire universe to basically watch this new film.
Okay.
So he was really getting
Wow,
prepped. So
that's a
so he
commitment.
he was going back into history and probably taking on like 10 films to watch this new one. And I'm like, you know what, man, I wish I had that dedication. I didn't even watch like any of the other Conjurings. I literally went one day. It was like probably the worst day of my life. The day I did go, I was having like a pretty bad day at work, and then I stopped. I went to this movie. I saw the movie and I came back and I went back to work. So like I don't know if my head was 100% in this film, but I know I did like it.
It
So
was a
it
good
did get
escape. Yeah.
yeah, it did get my mind off of things for a little bit, but I think in the back of my head I kept thinking of like some of the things I had to do. So I definitely want to like wait until I see it at home
Yeah.
in probably like a little bit more relaxed state. But I want to say the highlight is I went to a theater, Rich, and you're gonna be very, very excited about this. It had free refills on popcorn.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
So you know me, man. I just kept going back up there, but
What
getting my
about
pop.
mozzarella sticks? Was there free
No,
refills on that? Because
they
that's what
didn't
I
have
get.
anything like that. They had like gummy fish and
Ugh.
popcorn and like Diet Coke and like that was like
Okay.
you're trying. It's a pretty ghetto theater that I go to, but it's also like $10.
Yeah, look, you've been going to
Um,
the movies a lot more than
it's
you
ten
have in
dollars.
recent times. Yeah, no, I feel that. I go on like on Tuesday, Wednesdays, the AMC's usually have like $8 movies, so that's why I've been kind of
Yeah,
going a bit more.
no
Um,
way any place here would. I don't think
I
I have
think that's no, I
AMC's
think it's an
close by.
AMC thing. Oh, you
Oh,
don't have one
really?
by?
I don't
Yeah, I
have
think
any
it's just
by
something they
me. Yeah.
do. They were doing Tuesdays and they opened it up to Tuesday, Wednesdays. So yeah, I mean, it's usually like pretty cheap prices. So I've been kind of like taking advantage of that. All right, well, that's the Conjuring. Let's get into the reason why we're here, and that's to talk about your challenge. So we're 6 days in.
Wow.
So six different themes that we've had to watch horror movies for. And why don't we just take it? We'll just do what day by day. You tell me what you watched. Tell me a little bit about it. I'll tell you what I watched. We'll drink some sips, keep
Yeah.
going, and then maybe when we get towards the end, we could talk about like some of the themes that are coming up after this.
Yeah, man, that sounds good. I mean, and also, I mean, I can't believe we're 6 days in already. It is going by really, really fast, and we're 6 days closer to Halloween, getting everyone hyped up here. Doesn't really change much for us, We're gonna keep watching horror films, whether it's October or not. But like everything just feels heightened right now. So, I mean, I know I mentioned it on the last episode. I want to start this challenge off with a banger, what I consider a banger. And what happens to me with bangers, I always blow them because I get too excited. So, night one, and anyone who's ever listened to the show knows I get like geeked out over these stupid movies, is haunt films or haunted house. And I leave that open to interpretation just in case you don't like haunt films. And by haunt, I'm being very, very specific here, where it's like a haunt that you would go to. It's like, a place. It's, where there's actors and scare actors and things like that. Or a haunted house, like at some sort of amusement park or something like that. But I leave that open up to interpretation in case you don't like that type of film and you just want to watch, like, say, a paranormal haunted house film. So I definitely always add that little bit of haunted house just in case. It's like I don't want to watch a movie about a haunt, but I do. And for the last 10 years, I blew it. And guess what?
Blew
I
it
blew it
again.
again.
Yeah. Yeah, so when we talk about the challenge, like a lot of us, like Jerry and myself, we do try to watch things we either haven't seen before or haven't seen in a long time. That gets exhausting because you start racking up like five unwatchable movies in a row, and then we'll pick something that actually we really like. But I do the same thing where I start off and I'm just like, I'm gonna watch all of these movies, and yeah, by like day six, I'm like, no more. I'm just
Like,
watching
blow
classics.
it.
So okay, so you blew it. What did you watch?
So I watched a film called Haunt Season. It's a fairly new film. It's 2024 by Jake Jarvie. And basically, it's about this young woman who joins a haunt team the last few weeks of the season because someone flaked out. And then soon she realizes that some of her fellow actors are starting to disappear one by one. And it turns out that they're being killed by a masked killer,
Okay.
which again sounds pretty good. There were definitely some interesting twists, and the way the people get killed is related to like the character that they play in the haunt. So it definitely gets a little interesting. Definitely gets bloody. Definitely gets brutal. I just feel the acting wasn't that great. It was really really low budget. I feel like you could get away with these types of film on a low budget, but I don't know, maybe just the talent, the talent wasn't there for this one. It was definitely missing something where I watch plenty of films like this that are low budget and I keep watching them again and again, but this is definitely not something I will ever watch again. I feel like maybe if they sprinkled in some nudity, that would have went a long way. It's like they
Is it
just kind of
bloody?
it's bloody, but they allude to a lot of like sexual kind of situations and stuff like that. And it's like that just annoys me if they're just not going to show anything. It's like, come on.
They don't tease me. Either do it
Yeah,
or
it's like
don't,
why
right?
like either do it or don't, or just don't mention it. Just keep it bloody. You don't have to get sexy if we're not getting sexy. So
It's like
if they
whenever they have like a shower scene and it's really
yeah,
just a shot
it's
of
like
her
an
from the
arm.
neck up. It's like,
Yeah.
why'd you even do that?
Why'd you
Like,
even
why
put it in
bother?
there?
Like, at least show a
It's
back, right? Or like a
yeah.
back or a stomach or something to like, it's otherwise there's no point to putting someone in a shower other than to
I
kill
I mean
60 seconds of runtime.
some man ass would have went a long way in this. Anything at all. It just needed something. I don't know what it was. Better actors. I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just think for this particular theme, I want to love it. So I'm disappointed. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm disappointed with it, just because it didn't live up to my expectations.
Yeah, and usually it's like a genre you like, right? So it's kind of tough to fuck that up for you.
Yeah. What did you check out?
So I watched this movie called The Uninvited from 2009.
Hmm.
And what The Uninvited is, it's an American remake of a Korean film, A Tale of Two Sisters, which
Well,
I
okay.
seen many, many years ago, and I remember really liking it, but I don't really remember the movie that well. I remember the twist, unfortunately, because this has the very same twist, but I don't remember the actual movie other than I like it. So this movie, The Uninvited, is basically about this girl, Anna. She comes home after spending some time in the mental institution for attempted suicide. She comes, and it's after her mother died, which kind of drove her to try to kill herself. So she comes home from the hospital, and then her and her sister start believing that their stepmom is like a murderer and is like ultimately trying to kill them to get their dad. And so the movie, Anna, she's obviously mentally ill. She sees ghosts, including several child ghosts and the ghost of her mother, which is where the paranormal stuff comes in. Look, I already knew the twist in the movie. I feel like even if you didn't see the Korean film, I think it's pretty obvious 5 minutes in, like what the actual twist is going to be towards the end. So kind of like, it's not really the best written story. I think there's like a side plot with these child ghosts, these kid ghosts, which you know was kind of like, it felt really thrown in there just to kind of like have some more spooky shit. And to me, especially in these like 2000s movies, whenever they have the kid ghosts, it always looks fake. It always looks the same,
Mm,
like the way they do the makeup. It
yeah.
never looks scary to
Like a
me. And
gray, a
these,
greenish. Yeah.
yeah, it just never looks scary to me. And I don't get why they do it. I think some people do find it scary. And what I would say about this movie, a couple of things. One, it stars Emily Browning, who I actually really like. I usually like. I'm like a fan of hers. Like, she did this like movie Sleeping Beauty. That's like one of the weirdest, coolest movies I've seen. But I like her. I would say this movie, it's made for casual horror fans, I would say.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
what I mean by that is there's a lot of jump scares. It's not like overly well done or scary. I didn't like it, but I feel like if I was hanging out with a girl and like she wanted to watch a horror movie and put this on, I probably wouldn't be pissed off. And they would probably like it more than me, is what I'm saying. So like I personally didn't like it. I don't think you would watch it, but I think it's a movie you could probably watch with your wife, and she might find it really scary, and like you are just there just to kind of like kill some time and watch a movie. So yeah, so I thought it was a bit of a mess, not overly scary. When a movie is like just relying on jump scares, it kind of, it needs more. It needs to like have more of that atmosphere, which I felt this didn't have. And again, like I said, you can kind of see the twist coming a mile away, which is a bit of a bummer because it's a pretty good twist.
I feel like I've seen this. Hold on, I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
you might have come across it.
I
It's
have seen this. Okay, a long time ago. I just want to make sure I recognize like the cover art and some of the stills. I have seen this. Yeah, I don't remember my thoughts on it, I do see it is PG-13,
Right. And it
but
feels PG-13. Yeah.
yeah, but so yeah, I don't know. So I'm assuming that you probably didn't love it, and you also went in the direction of haunted house.
Yeah, I kind
Is
of
that
went.
a
I was going with the paranormal theme, like, and again, it's like it ends up like her house isn't actually haunted, but she is seeing ghosts in her home, which I would consider
that's pretty haunted.
paranormal. Yeah,
I don't know how you don't have a haunted house if there are ghosts in your home, but hey, who am I to figure that out?
yeah. Well, if you see the movie, you understand that.
I don't remember the twist.
Yeah,
I barely remember the film. I just remember the cover art and the actress. That's all I
yeah,
remember from
yeah.
it.
I mean, it does make me want to check out the Tale of Two Sisters again because it has been a
Oh,
while since I've
okay.
seen it, and I do remember really liking that, and I remember that being very scary from what I remember. But I need to find it. I have it on DVD somewhere. Um,
Nice.
so so for this movie, yeah. So here's the thing: like, did I like it? Not really. Did I hate it? Not really. It was like watchable. I watched it all the way through. Um, would I watch it again? I probably wouldn't. However, again, if I am in a situation where I need to pick out something to watch and like it's for not a super horror fan, maybe I put this on. So I'm giving it a two. Um,
Okay.
because it wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. Like it's fine. It feels like a PG-13 horror movie from 2009. So I'm gonna give it two. How about you on Haunt Season?
Haunt season. Yeah. So it's definitely bloody. Definitely sucked, which I normally like. Uh, but there was just something. There was just whatever that puzzle piece is that I can't identify. That's what it was missing. So I didn't hate it.
Would you rewatch it?
No, not if I have a choice. No,
Yeah,
if I forget, it has cool cover art. So if I forget that I
yeah.
watched it and I accidentally watch it again, I probably wouldn't be that mad, but I probably wouldn't like intentionally check it out again. So I'm gonna give this one 2.5
Okay,
bloody
so it was like
knives.
decent. Like sounds
It's like a C, you know, it didn't fail. It's not the best thing in the world. It's okay, you know, it's
fair.
passing.
Yeah,
It's
it's fair.
passing, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 2.5.
All
So I
right,
guess
so let's
we should take some sips right
yeah,
now
let's
and
cheers to
get
that.
this
Let's do
going.
it.
Yeah, cheers. All right, night one.
So yeah, Brandon said it. I think on the last episode, Brandon Christensen. It's about rewatchability, right? And like we always kind of factor that into our ratings, but like I'm really looking at a lot of the movies now, like that I rate based on that. Like, because even if you love it, because I remember you and I were talking about Weapons,
Yeah.
and I actually really liked it coming out of the theater. But you asked me, would you watch it again? And I was just like, I don't know if I'd watch it again. Like,
Yeah.
see, it's out on like streaming, but like I have no interest in rewatching it. One day I probably will, but right now I don't need to. So like that would, you know, my first instinct was to give that a higher rating, which I know we didn't rate that on the show. But then when I thought about that, I was like, maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought. If I'm not in a rush to
Not gonna
watch it
watch it
again.
again. Yeah, it's got to be dinged if you don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I don't know how good a movie is if you don't want to watch it again. You know.
Because some movies
Uh,
are like really well done, and then you know the twist, and then you're kind of like, all right, now I don't need to watch it again. And then some movies, like you get the twist, and you're like, I want to rewatch it to like see if I can pick
yeah,
up clues and stuff like that. It just depends on the movie.
yeah, I feel that. Yeah, and I always keep that in mind here too. Like whenever I'm doing my ratings, because I am giving a rating of how I felt, like if I liked it, not if it was like well written or you know.
Yeah, I don't care if you tell me it's the best movie in the world. I didn't
Yeah,
like it. If it's
yeah. If you
Citizen
don't like
Kane,
it, you
I didn't
don't
like
like
it.
it.
It gets a
Yeah,
zero.
you
Yeah.
know, I don't like Citizen Kane as a matter of fact, you know, but I do like Gone with the Wind. But you know, so just because something is touted as a great film doesn't mean that it is to every person. But yeah, and that's why we're here, and that's why we talk about it. So man, let's get into to night two.
What
So
was night
night
two?
two was this was a new theme. I did variations of this in the past, but I want to be a little bit more specific, just to kind of sway everyone in one direction. So night two was aquatic or shark horror. And I want you to know that my intentions were for everyone who's participating in this challenge was for them to watch Dangerous Animals. And I know Melissa Rose did, so shout out to her. But I was hoping like, everyone that sees this says, "Oh my God, now's the time. I have to watch Dangerous Animals." So I know you didn't watch it, and I
No,
already watched
I
it.
couldn't find it on the
All
platforms I
right, yeah,
have.
I
So
already watched it, so I didn't do it for that. So what did you do for aquatic or shark
yeah,
horror?
I fucked this one up. There was a bunch I had it in my head
It's
that
only night two. We
I
we're
know,
already
I know,
screwing this up.
I know. So like I watched look, I watched a movie that I had low expectations for, but I thought it would be like an easy watch and I would just kind of get through it. So I watched The Shallows from
Oh, okay.
2016, and that stars Blake Lively, who again, I don't know who that is, but I know she's a name.
Yeah,
And
she's
she's a
huge.
surfer. She goes to this secluded private beach, not really private beach, but it's like a beach that's not on the map that no one really knows about to surf. And she's by herself because her friend ditched her. So she goes out surfing alone in this place where she gets dropped off and doesn't even know where the hell she is, which is dumb. Like, it's funny. The guy drops her off and he's like, like, how are you gonna get home? And she's like, I'll Uber. And it's like, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, you're not
Yeah.
gonna call it Uber. But anyway, she goes surfing and then, she basically wipes out, gets hurt, and then she is
Oh.
stalked by a shark who not only stalks her but also kills various other people that go into the water. And she's kind of like sitting on a rock the whole movie, like trying to tell people to run away. And it's funny at one point, somebody like she sees on the beach there's like her has her backpack there and she sees like some pickpocket like stealing her shit and she's like screaming at him and then like he sees her surfboard in the water and then he goes after the surfboard and of course like the shark like gets him.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, look, it sounds like sounds decent enough,
Sounds pretty awesome to me. I love the
and I think
plot.
you might actually like the movie. I think where it suffers for me is a couple of things. One is, it's a lot of CGI,
Oh,
which again, like you do these shark movies and it's bad CGI. And it's kind of like hard to watch. Not that there's like a great shark movie where it looks ultra realistic and cool, but it was distracting. And there's like one scene where she's like swimming through a bunch of jellyfish, and it's clear like it's a green screen and they're not there. So it was like it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard to watch that. Um, yeah, what was that? What else was I going to say about it? Yeah, I mean, it moves pretty fast. They also do a lot of stuff with technology where she's like timing certain things, and they'll show like her watch in like the corner of the screen. It's like
mm.
stuff like that is like they try to make it cool, but to me, it just takes me out of this like really terrifying situation. You're stranded in the middle of nowhere. There's a shark. You can't swim to sea because your leg is screwed up and you're hurt, bleeding. So like to me, it's like you don't need all these other things. They do also do this other thing that really the first time they did it, I thought it was so cool. So she's like sitting on this like rock or whatever in the ocean, and she sees these two surfers like paddling out towards her, and she's screaming at them to like run away because there's a shark, but they don't hear her, of course, because it's the ocean. And then they do this thing where the wave kind of covers them so you can't see them, and then when the wave comes back down they're gone, and then like the shark kind of comes out
Oh
and gets them.
shit.
But they do the same thing like three times, so like by the third time it's like, okay, you did the same trick. So
It's like
yeah, I was definitely not a fan of this movie. Like you actually, again, like I said, you might like it. I did not like it though.
it sounds like something I would like. Did the shark look cool at least?
No, it was like the CGI like kind of
Uh,
shark. So
was it a big shark at
it
least?
was big. Yeah, it was
You
big.
know,
Look, if you could get over the fact that it's a CGI shark and there's a ton of CGI stuff, it's not so bad, right? And,
it's
and like I
it's
said, that's how these
disappointing.
movies are.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, like
there's so much like stock shark footage. I feel like you could somehow blend that into your film, but
yeah, this one had like the budget was 17 mil, which
wow.
seems like a lot when you're considering it's literally just Blake Lively sitting in the ocean for
Well, she
90
probably wanted
minutes.
5 mil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So you'd think maybe they could have like spent a mil on a fake shark and it would have
yeah.
been all right. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it really costs
Yeah,
like
this
to
day and
make
age, I feel like you can make a shark for decent amount, you know.
I don't know. I never tried to make a mechanical shark, but I feel like you probably could. They probably could have done that. There's like a cast of like five people in this movie, so it's not like it's like this big movie. So I feel like they could have done better, but it is what it is.
Damn, well, that is disappointing and also strike two. So everyone, you see how this goes. You see the pressure
Yeah.
of the October challenge. It kind of ruins you. It almost makes you not want to do it because you're scared. You're scared of your next pick. You start second guessing yourself. When any day of the week, I will just turn on the TV, randomly choose a film and like it with no
Yeah.
problems.
I will say what the challenge does though, and you have to finish the movie. That's part of it. You have to finish the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And if this was a normal night, I would have put this movie on 10 minutes in, I would have turned it off, picked out something else. Probably 10 minutes into that, picked out something else, rinse, repeat until like I watched
Sweet,
like 10
finally.
minutes of five different
Five
movies.
films.
And then I end up just rewatching like Friday the 13th Part 4 again. So at least this forces you to like stick with the
Yeah,
movie because that's old school, right? You used to go to the video store, you'd
that's
bring that
it.
movie home and you fucking watched it whether you liked it or not because like what else were you going to do? So this at least does force me to watch some of these movies. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I did finish it. So, yeah.
Well, back in the day, I was not this rich aristocrat that you see now in front of
Aristocrat?
you. Aristocrat. I this. Wait, let me.
It's the Cuddy.
The
Blame it on the
aristocrat
Cuddy.
that
Blame
you
everything on
see
the
in front of
Cuddy.
you now, and honestly, I probably had like $9 in my pocket, and you'd be able to go and like rent like two two films, maybe three
For like
films.
$3 each. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
and some
I
candy,
mean
and you got your $9
that's it.
spent.
I mean that is it. And it didn't matter what those movies were. We didn't have the ability to go on your phone and read about it, read some reviews. Like you're looking at like the cover art
If it
and
looked
that
cool, you picked it up.
paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that paragraph on the back, you're like, oh, this sounds amazing. You get home, it's like someone filmed it on like, their camcorder, but you're like, you know what? You had to watch it because you spent the $3 and you don't have another film. You have the
Yeah.
two or the three, and that's it. That's all you have for the night. That's all you have for the weekend. That's it. So you had to do it. So yeah, I do like that aspect that you have to commit it, even though we have all these choices in these modern times.
Yeah. So what did you pick?
Man,
Tell me you did
so
better
I
than I
did
did.
better, man. I went with Piranha Double D. you
Okay.
know?
All right.
So, I feel like I was lacking after that last film that I watched on night one. So I want to like get into like Piranha Double D. It's definitely 2012 film. John Gulager, I think, who I'm not really familiar with, is the director. And if you really follow closely and intensely the Piranha universe, which I know a lot of people are like me and they do, this takes place right after the award winning Piranha 3D. And basically, what happens in this film is like this new owner turns like this family style water park into like a sleazy adult nudist attraction. so so he has like nude pools and nude rides, and everyone just kind of like
Say less.
you're on a lazy river just floating by naked and stuff like that. And it's funny. It was amusing. I mean, there's a ton of nudity. There's a lot of vicious kills. The Piranha are great. I mean, I'm a big fan of the original Piranha. I say it all the time. I really like the original Piranha. I think that's a great film. It's a scary film. It's a film that probably terrified me as a kid. I really thought piranhas were going to be a bigger problem in my life than they really were. I guess there aren't a lot of piranha on Long Island, um, so it didn't really happen. I didn't have to worry about it, but there's like a six showdown at the end where there's like tons of piranha attacking like the entire park. It has a very unexpected big cast in this. It's like Ving Rhames, David Kocher, Gary Busey. I mean,
I love
there's
David Kocher at anything. Like he's
yeah.
always
I mean,
great.
so he's the sleazy owner.
Yeah.
So he had a big part. I mean, it was just dumb, mindless fun, and of David Hasselhoff makes like a like a
Oh, that's classic.
cameo,
That's
and
classic.
he plays like a dick, which is so funny. So he plays
He plays
himself, but
himself, right? Yeah.
he's like a dick. He doesn't really like little kids and stuff like that. So
That's
it's kind
funny.
of funny. Um, it was humorous. It was dumb. It was stupid. It was just what I wanted. It was perfect for me on the night. Was it a great film? No, definitely not. But if you want to see like a lot of gore and just a lot of explosions and body parts and blood. It's definitely gets tens for all those because that's what it is. You know, the acting, the the story.
Yeah. Nah, who
It's
gives a
silly.
shit?
It's
It's
silly.
Piranha Double
It's
D, right?
silly. Yeah, it's silly. They definitely live up to the Double D name. There's plenty of nudity. I don't know if more than 5 minutes ever went by without there being some sort of nudity. It actually became quite funny how they've just kind of put it in wherever they could, even when it didn't seem like it was like a part of that scene. So it was funny. It was dumb. It was stupid, and I liked it. So
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of both of those films. And the original from was like 78, 79
mhm.
is a very different kind of film. It's a weird fucking movie. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of those where, again, as a kid, I remember walking by the box art in the video store and being like, it just scared the shit out of me for some reason. It was just,
yeah,
like you
man.
said,
See
as a
some
kid, you're like,
fish,
you think
like
piranhas are going to get you at some
come through
point.
my bathtub, right? Like they're
Yeah.
everywhere, man. I used to live on a canal. I'm like, there's piranha in that canal, man. There's piranha in there. I know it. I know it. And they're gonna jump out and get me. They never did. There was no piranha.
One day.
I don't even know if there was an eel or a crab in there. It was just pretty dirty and murky. So I don't know if anything really lived in there. But yeah, as a kid, I think the original piranha really scared me. To me, it was just like a level up from Jaws. A lot of people, and I don't mean that by like level of film. I
Right.
just mean like level of scariness and terror and horror. Jaws has a lot of great things, but is it a scary film? I don't really think so. I mean,
Not for a horror fan
yeah,
anyway.
not for a
Oh,
horror fan.
although,
I mean,
I will say, like, I was having this argument with somebody about like the scariest films of all time. And the one thing I will say about Jaws, regardless of whether the film being scary, it is one of the scariest films of all time because it actually made so many people afraid to go in the
go in the
ocean.
water. Yeah,
And because you didn't think about it before. You didn't think about like shark attacks. And like now it's we all we think about, right? So it's like while the movie doesn't really have that scare factor, it's probably one of the scariest movies
it's
because it
real
changed
life
the
scare.
culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely
it
real
changed the
life
world.
scare.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple kills and a couple of shark jumps. Yeah, I mean, I guess at the time it was scary, but I think a year or two later, whenever Piranha came out, I mean, they were just mauling through people. It was like putting people through a blender, and seeing that as a young kid, you're like, "Whoo, now the water's scary." You're like,
All right.
"Holy shit, man!"
All right, so you loved Piranha
I
Double
did.
D.
I
I
loved it.
hated The Shallows, so I am. This is gonna be a little lopsided, but I'm giving The Shallows 1.5, and it's only getting 1.5 because I think you might actually like the movie. Otherwise,
I'm gonna check
I
it
would have
out.
given it a
I'm
0.
gonna check it
So
out
I'm
in
giving it one and a
November.
half. I'm scared about what you're giving Piranha Double D.
I'm giving it three. Three bloody
All right. Oh,
knives.
okay, that's not so bad. All right, I
Yeah.
could do that.
There you go. Cheers. One and a half.
That's probably what I would give it to. I might give the other one, the one before, I might give that like a 3.5, just because
Mm,
it was very clever when that came out. There wasn't a
yeah.
film like that, and then to follow that up. So, all
Oddly,
right, so
big,
that's
huge cast in that one as well, which at the time is probably some of the biggest, stars out there, and they're doing a Piranha film. So yeah, that
yeah,
was okay. Definitely watchable. I say all the Piranhas are watchable. If you like, kind of corny, dumb shit with fish that are mauling people. I mean, it's funny. It's I I I mean,
yeah.
there's
Piranha's
like
in an amusement park, right? I
I mean,
mean,
I didn't
like you
even really
can't take it
get
too
into the
seriously.
graphicness of this, but there are some scenes in there that you definitely never saw before in any film. So if you take anything away, check out Piranha Double D.
All right, let's move on to night. Let's move on to night three.
Night
Another night I
three,
fucked up, but yeah.
dark and stormy
Oh,
night
I
was
really
was
fucked
night
this one up.
three, which again is probably one of my top five themes. I always like these, but these are hard. These are hard to find the right film to like capture however you interpret this. And I have a very, very, very hard time because I am very, very specific to what I'm looking for. So that makes it difficult. But I did not fuck up. So I guess I'll go
Oh,
first this time.
all
I'll,
right.
I'll go first this time. So I did a lot of research this year about this particular genre, and as much as I liked it, I never did any research about it. I just didn't care. I'm just a guy who watches movies. What do I got to research shit for? But start a podcast, and suddenly you need to sound intelligent. So here I am. I did some research, and it turns out that this dark and stormy night, apparently, the genre began with a particular film called The Old Dark House. And that is really the beginning of the Dark and Stormy Night subgenre. And a lot of people equate it to this film, which was probably one of the first films to kind of feature this sort of atmosphere in a film and kind of like the plot lines that go along with it. So, I did look at a lot of different movies. I'm like, I could watch this, I could watch that. I'm like, this will probably be good. I'm like, you know what? Let me just know where it all happened. Let me know where it began. And so I checked it out. I watched this film, The Old Dark House, and this is a 1932 film, which is crazy. So it's black and white. James Wales is the director, and it starts off just the way you want it to start off. A trio on a road trip gets caught in this monstrous storm, and they find refuge in a dark, old, creepy house that has some strange inhabitants. Um, Obviously, it's 1932. Am I going to find it scary? No, not really. Did I find it creepy? Absolutely. Hell yes. It was definitely creepy, and I think people in 1932 were probably terrified. I'm sure they were pissing themselves just by like the acting. The acting was superb. It was flawless. Boris Karloff is in this.
Okay.
Um, it's just probably I don't know the other actors, but I'm not familiar with actors of that time, but they're probably like a who's who of the 30s. They're all fantastic, and just like things are like a slow hand coming around the corner. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get scared by that, but I guarantee in 1932, people were crying in their seats while they were watching it. It does not hold back on what it's supposed to be. It takes place during an awesome thunderstorm with like drenching, sheeting rain, and it's the whole time. It never stops. It's always in the background. It is a character in the film. It comes up all the time if someone goes outside, or all of a sudden just whips up in the background, or someone opens a door, opens a window. It's there the whole time. It creates such a great atmosphere. I loved it. I thought it was, again, great cast, crazy characters. Once you get to know like these people who are all basically trapped during this storm, a lot of weird things happen, a lot of creepy things happen. There's even a murder. Um, Ends on a high note, which I found very, very strange. So I guess that's the way they did things back then. Is there was
1932, right? Like,
Yeah, there was kind of like a kill, and then within probably 3 4 minutes later the movie's ending and it's on a high note, which I found that very very strange, just to switch gears like that, and kind of ends with that like kind of music where you're like,
yeah.
oh, this is a great ending. But you want to know what, this is definitely something that should be in the canon of all
Wow.
horror films. Everyone should watch this. Everyone should learn like where this genre came from. I think it fits the bill absolutely perfect. Is it a horror movie today? No. Was it a horror movie to the 30s? Yes. The 40s? Yes. Probably in the 50s. So I liked it. I thought it was a great film. It's perfect.
The Old Dark House, is that what you said?
The Old Dark House.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen that before. I definitely want to check it out because I do like going back to some of the classics, just see again what movies were influenced by that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like
Yeah.
you said, being the first of this genre, and yeah, this is like a theme I really like. The dark and stormy night. I'm
I
big
mean,
into atmosphere. There's it just adds a little something. It just ratchets up the terror when you have that storm going on, whether it's just you just see it in the background or whether they weave it into the plot in
yeah.
some way, like where the people are trapped or something like that. I do like it. Really wanted to find the perfect film, but then I kind of gave up and I'm like, you know what? Like, let me just watch something that seems interesting. And I picked a film that I wish I didn't. It does have the atmosphere. It takes place over like a week or two period, so there's multiple nights where there's storms. It does take place in New Orleans, which I also really like because that's
Mm,
just a creepy vibe.
yeah.
It takes place at a plantation in New Orleans. The movie though was awful. It was The Skeleton Key from 2005. Stars Kate Hudson, who they really tried to make her a thing, right? She's Nepo baby, which is why they try to do it. She's like, and again, I can't speak to a lot of her stuff, but she's a really bad actress. Like she's terrible in this. She's just boring and just
Really?
dry, and she's trying to play this like
Oh,
snarky, know-it-all 25-year-old, and it just comes off annoying and flat. So basically, the plot of the movie is Kate Hudson is like a live-in nurse. So she goes to live at this plantation to take care of this really old guy. And you find out there's the him and his wife have a bunch of secrets, and it involves hoodoo, which I'd never heard of, but it's kind of like a religion, like a voodoo. And the plot is very kind of convoluted. It gets like overly complex, doesn't make a lot of sense. Really aren't good scares. I would say the atmosphere is good. There are a few stormy nights. There's definitely some rain, and it does become part of some of the plot where she's getting chased through the rain and stuff like that
mm,
happens. So it's in there. But yeah, the movie was just dumb and just it just felt like it felt like one of those movies where you just feel like lots of people were tinkering with the script, kind of like in studios, kind of, no, let's change this, let's change that, until it becomes like this big mess of a movie. I'm like
oh,
hoping that's what happened, but yeah, it's a pass for me. Kate Hudson again, I don't, she was really bad in this, just boring. And yeah, the movie didn't make a lot of sense. It wasn't scary. I
damn.
see why I didn't watch it back in 2005. I passed on it then, and I should have passed now. So I'm 3 for 3 with the misses here so far.
Man, that sucks. I mean, it sounds great. I also like New Orleans, and I like that as a setting, and it's a very stormy area as well. So
Yeah.
I normally do like those films. I don't think I saw that movie. I'm guessing it's PG-13 just by
Yes, it
what you're
is. It is
saying.
PG-13,
Yeah,
which again is
so
2000s horror. Most of those movies are
yeah, most of them
PG-13,
are.
unfortunately.
So that's unfortunate because it sounds like a big cast, big budget, great
Yeah, there's
atmosphere,
some
but
other
they
people in
fucked
it
it
too
up.
that you've seen before. And like, oh yeah, that person's
Mm,
familiar. But yeah, it just wasn't. It was just stupid. It was
damn.
dumb. So yeah, I'm giving it a 1
It's giving it a
because
one. Holy
yeah,
cow.
it just wasn't like there's nothing good about it other than it took place in New Orleans and there's some storms. It
Uh,
was really bad.
I got
I know.
bad
I
news for
know. This
you.
sucks.
I'm not rating this film any higher just because it is an old classic. I'm not boosting it up in any way. I don't do things like that. I'm rating this strictly on its merits. And let me tell you, I will 100% watch this film again. Oh, and it's only about an hour and 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Very short, maybe 70, 73
Perfect length for a movie.
run time. So it's short, it's quick, it has everything you need. I'm giving this bad boy 4.5
Oh, fuck.
bloody knives. So what am I taking? One?
One.
Well, I'm done. You keep going. And I'll prep everyone for the next night.
It's funny. Before you do that, like before we got on the air, like we were discussing, you proposed this drink game. You're like, why don't we
Yeah.
just drink to each movie to make it interesting? And I was looking at my choices, and I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be lots of ones and twos. Like this is fine. Didn't even contemplate that you'd have a bunch of fours and threes, and I'd be getting fucked up. I'm like, oh, I'll barely drink. If his choices are anything like mine, I'll barely drink. I fucked up.
This is really the first one I would say was a banger. I mean, I don't know if Piranha Double D was a bang. It was good, but it was not. It wasn't a
Uh,
banger. But we do have a couple more left, and I don't know if I hit them as
I
well
didn't choose well.
as I hit.
Yeah.
But I know you're gonna like this next one. So this was our first double up. I didn't call it a
Ugh.
double up. I thought it was implied here that everyone should be watching two films, and the theme is 1983 and 2003. And what I really wanted to do is give people a look through the decades. Start off kind of early in what is probably considered one of the best decades for horror, which is the 80s, and then kind of move it into the 2000s, which really isn't considered, the best
No, no.
decade of
I
horror.
would definitely say
So
not.
I thought it would be really interesting for people to take a look at this. Again, I'm going to assume a lot of our listeners and a lot of people may be joining in on this. Maybe we're very, very young in 83, or I mean, we were very young in 83, um, or maybe they weren't born yet. And this will just kind of give you an excuse to go back and check out what you would consider a classic, not 1932. I don't know what you guys would consider that. Ancient, perhaps historical, but
Antique.
yeah, antique. But 83 I thought was deep enough back, and then I want to skip like 2 decades to really just kind of see how things develop. So we have 83 and 2003. What did you do for
You,
83?
so it's interesting because like the 80s, like you say, are like this treasured decade of
Yeah.
horror. And trying to find a movie in 83 was rough. Like that was not a good year for horror. And there were some movies you could watch, and I struggled. I think I put on two different movies, both of which I did turn off because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna finish these. One was The Curtains, which you
Oh
were like,
yeah,
oh yeah, don't
it's
watch that.
slow. That's a slow burn. Yeah.
It's the quality like was hard to watch. And then I put in this other movie, Mausoleum, which I may go back and rewatch, but it's really fucking bizarre. And I'm like, I can't watch a weird
I
80s
watched
like
that a long time ago. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a tough
I'm
one.
not saying I would like it, but it's fucking weird, and I just couldn't get into that. So I'm like, and I was trying to find. I really want to watch Psycho 2
Mm,
because our guest last time mentioned that, but I couldn't find that on streaming anywhere. So
damn.
I made a choice, and it's I I watched another shark movie, um, and I never saw this movie before. I'm shocked I never saw it before, but now I get why. I watched Jaws 3,
Oh, just three.
which is oh my God, like this is like honestly, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. This is I don't know
Oh,
how this got made because like Jaws 1, classic, great movie, almost a
yeah,
masterpiece, right? Jaws 2 is pretty good too.
it's
Like it's pretty
okay.
good.
Yeah.
This one is just trash. Everything about it is trash. So the movie takes place at SeaWorld, which
Yeah.
already I'm like, fuck SeaWorld. Like I hate SeaWorld. So I'm already kind of pissed off. But I'm like, you know what? Some bad stuff's gonna happen to SeaWorld. Let me do this. And I think they're opening up like a new park or they're doing something new to the park, and they find like this kind of baby great white shark and they capture it. And they have never been in captivity before, so of course the baby great white shark dies. Mama shark comes back and is pissed and tries to kill a bunch of the people at SeaWorld. Okay, I mean I could get into that
Yeah.
premise. It's
I mean,
goofy, it's hokey, it's campy, but the movie's not. The movie's just bad, and it takes probably an hour for anything to happen. There's like it's and I want to go back to 1983 to like see other films and the technology, but it's the special effects in this are some of the worst things I've ever seen, and it's not even campy bad. It's like this movie made me think of like an Ed Wood movie, but like
mm,
worse. Like there's like at the time it was in 3D, so there's that gimmick. So like stuff like in 3D, if you're not watching it in 3D, is already pretty bad.
yeah, it's
But
awful.
this looked like even in '83, this had to look really bad. Like it's just I can't even describe it. Like there's one scene where like the shark is headed towards a glass window and it breaks the glass window. But the way it looks is just so bad. Like it's clearly like it looks like a cutout of a shark like that they're pushing towards this. I can't even describe how bad the effects were, but this movie it's absolute garbage. I I can't believe this movie was made. I can't believe this movie was made. Like and why they made it and who the
I mean, it was
audience
a it was
was.
a money grab, obviously, and
Obviously,
and
but
they were
so
probably
bad.
trying to mess with 3D technology. Yeah, so actually I saw this film in the theaters
Get out
in,
of here.
in
In
83
'83?
in
What?
RKO theaters. My cousin brought me and my sister, so I was probably a little young to go to this, but it was Jaws, so I don't
And
I
if you're a
think it's
child, maybe
I
it's
think
like
it's
tolerable.
PG.
Yeah, I think it is
Um,
PG.
and I do remember like tuning up like those red and blue lens glasses, like in the beginning of the film, where they have to get your eyes ready and they make you go through a few different like techniques where like they'll show you something and you're supposed to see it, and if you don't see it, they'll be like, all right, now try this, and they show it to you again. It was like all these weird things, and that's all I really remember about the movie, seeing it in the theaters, because it's probably one of the only films I saw in 3D. Um, but yeah, I've seen this Jaws actually many, many times. Unfortunately, I just get caught up watching
When it's like Shark Week and
like
stuff, you
Shark
just
Week, and
or
they'll just
July
play like
4th. Yeah.
and they'll do like like a Jaws like kind of one by one, and I'll just let it play out. I've seen this one way too many times. It is pretty awful. The acting is pretty awful. Probably pretty big stars were in this. I kind of remember there was
Yeah,
probably
Dennis
some,
Quaid's in it.
yeah, it's like some pretty big
And I
people.
think Louis Gossett Jr. might be the other
Yep.
actor. But yeah, like what? Yeah,
Huge
looks like they
names,
spent some
but
money on it. But
terrible movie. Shocked you went with that. So I do want to say, when I picked these years, the only thing I had in mind was the decade, not necessarily the year. So I didn't. So it's a surprise to me as well. I didn't look for the best 80s
right,
year for the movie. Like it could just as easily been 82 and 2002. I randomly
right.
picked 83, 2003 because I don't think I've ever picked it before. I think was probably why. Yes, when I got into it, I realized there wasn't like a huge amount of films
Not
that
like really
year.
well known. Like there's
Yeah.
films obviously, but there's not. And the ones that are well known, for the most part, I was like, ooh, I don't want to watch that or like. But anyway, yeah. So it was a tough year for horror.
Yeah, and I know, but I picked a good one.
Oh, would you pick?
I picked something that you like. I picked Christine.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's funny. Like I don't know what it is about that movie because I watch it all the time. I really fucking love Christine. And I don't, you know what it makes me think of? Like I remember back in the 80s, I guess, like the Stephen King books always had really cool covers that were
yeah,
scary. And I remember my grandma had this book. And I remember like just seeing it, and it's just a car, but there's something about the art just looked kind of creepy to me. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's all about.
yeah.
And then when I finally saw the movie, like when I saw it, I was pretty young too. I do remember really liking it, and I go back to it all the time. So, like, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot to live up to. John Carpenter, Stephen King. So, I mean, how you guys better not blow it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. I don't know if I have to really give like the plot of this. I think everyone kind of knows what it is, but
Well, you might as well. There might be some younger
all
people
right.
that like have never
A
seen it.
nerdy bully teen suddenly gets a lot of confidence when he buys a junker car that turns into like his dream killer car per se, and yeah, I think that's the plot. Basically, it's this paranormal car that loves the owner and protects the owner from other bullies by killing them through car means. And that usually means like running them over or or trapping them in the car or something like that. Really interesting stuff. I do like this movie. I really, really do. I think there's I like all the car stuff. I'm interested in cars. I like watching like that kind of like monotonous kind of building of the car. I like all the characters. I thought it was really funny. There's like this bully named Buddy. He has to be 38 years old, and we're supposed to believe that he's some sort of high school student. And even if he got left back like three times, he would still be like 17, not 35,
Yeah, it's
maybe
funny
20.
when you see him next to like the I guess protagonist antagonist Arnie, who's the star.
Yeah,
It's clear that this guy is like 20 years older than him.
20
Like
years older,
it's like
20
he's
years
like in
older.
size and everything. Like they don't even look like anything close together. Which is really funny because I always notice that too.
I think it's a great film. It has great pacing, great action, explosions, um, good kills. I would say, it's probably like ahead of its time, just what they were doing and the concept behind it with this car that kind of could rejuvenate itself if it gets messed up and kind of seeks revenge on any bully or dick or anyone that does anything basically to Arnie, or even if Arnie likes him, it just likes Arnie, this car. So I think it's good. I think it's a good film. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. I think it's a good film. It's a classic. I don't normally like Stephen King
Same.
movies. I would say 95% of them I won't even watch. This is different. I don't know if it's because John Carpenter is involved. His films have a look, his films have a sound. He does nighttime really well, and a lot of this film takes place at night, so it gives you that really cool kind of atmosphere. I like the story of an underdog. This kid's basically a bully, and he kind of turns out being pretty cool, and like, girls all of a sudden like him, and he gets, like kind of cool, and like I like that story. So I don't know. I like this film. I think it's a good film. I can see why you watch it all the time.
Yeah, it's a good character arc too, because right, he starts off being this nerdy kid that gets bullied, then he becomes cool, then he becomes kind of like this asshole,
Yeah.
right? Like once he gets the power. And yeah, and I always consider this movie a guilty pleasure because I'm like, is it good or do I just like it? Because I never really hear people talking about it. So it
Yeah.
feels good to see that. I think it is the John Carpenter. It's the music. It's got that synth kind of score that makes it
Oh
really
yeah.
creepy. The shots are really creepy. Like, because you think about a movie about a killer car sounds silly, but
Stupid.
it's this movie's not silly, it's serious. Like
No.
it's they took some like a very simple subject matter and made it very dark, which I think it needed a really good filmmaker to do. So before we kind of rate these two,
Hmm.
since I know you're probably not going to drink when I give my Jaws 3 rating, let's do a quick drinking trivia. And if you could tell me, I want to know the number of Stephen King horror movies that were released in 1983. If you get it right, I will drink the number of sips. That is the number of movies he released. And if you get it wrong, then you need to drink the number of sips of how many movies he released.
Okay. In
Which is
83,
interesting. 83. Three Stephen King movies came out.
I have to name all three.
No, you just gotta tell me. Oh shit, I fucked up.
You just told me.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
shit.
All
Never
right.
mind.
All right. How about I guess? How about I guess?
Okay.
So it would be Christine.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so I fucked up the drinking game. He was supposed to name the number of movies. I am drunk, and I said it's three
I,
movies.
I
Stephen King
was,
released three movies. So
all right.
yeah.
I was going to say two, but you already gave me the three. So now I'll try to guess what three they are. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the three. So obviously Christine, The Shining.
No.
Oh, shit. All right. Let me get another guess in there. Silver Bullet.
No. All right.
All
I'll
right.
tell you. I'll tell you that he did three movies, and well, three movies based on his works came out. It was Christine, Cujo,
Oh, Cujo.
and the Dead Zone, all released in
I
'83.
never would have got the dead zone.
No.
So, and I was gonna say two. So I'll take a sip just because I wasn't
Me
gonna
too,
guess
just
right
because I fucked
anyway.
up the drinking game. But
And
all
I,
right, so I did fuck up that drinking game, but it is crazy that there aren't that many movies, at least like horror movie wise, in '83 that are notable, and there's three Stephen King
and
movies.
they're
I thought
all
that was, yeah,
Stephen King.
yeah.
That's pretty
So okay,
funny.
so we need to get to the ratings on Jaws 3. I'm giving it, unfortunately, I give it a 0. There's
A
like nothing
zero.
redeeming about it.
Damn. All right. Well, I'll give
Yeah,
it a
so
little sipper
give me a little
here.
sip. And what are you giving Christine? This sucks.
I'll give him Christine three bloody
Okay. All
knives.
right.
I think it's a
I
good
personally give it
film.
a 4, but three
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense. I really like it,
Um,
but three's good.
yeah, it's not guilty pleasure for me. I've seen this before. It's probably the second time I watched it this year, so
There
I
you go.
do like it, and maybe I'm getting more into it. So maybe the next time we talk about it, it gets a four. But for now, it's three. All right, man. Let's get into another fantastic year of horror, which is
2003.
2003. So what did you do for
Yeah.
2003?
So yeah, I like was going back and forth with what to watch, and because we did an episode on where we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022, I went back and I watched I guess it's the reboot from 2003 that they did with Jessica Biel. I watched that. It's funny. You're laughing because I think you watched that too, right? Yeah. So we both picked the same movie for this one, and I think I almost remember. I think we went to the theater to see it together on like a double date. And I think when we saw it at the time, I remember we both liked it because I think early 2000s horror was pretty bad, and this one has some like it was like more extreme than I thought it would be for
Oh yeah, for
2003.
sure.
Watching it now, man, it didn't hold up for me. And what I will say is there some pretty cool gore? Yeah.
Hmm.
Does it get pretty violent? Yeah. Are there cool parts? Yeah. But for me, it's there are a lot of characters, and it kind of seems to really it's not that long, but it seems to really drag on. And like what I mean by that is there's just like there's too much, there's too many different things happening. Like you have Leatherface, who barely seems to be kind of in the movie till it gets towards like the end. You have this sheriff character played by Arlie Emery, who I think is really
Yeah,
good. He's like
yeah.
the best part of the movie. You have like a couple of other random, just rednecky kind of people just kind of hanging around. And then you have this group of, they're supposed to be, I guess, I don't know if they're teenagers or whatever, but they're all a little older. I like how the movie starts out. Like it starts out good, and then it starts out very similar to like the original Texas Chainsaw, and then goes in like a completely different direction, which I appreciate that they did something different. It's not the same movie. They went like completely different, but I don't know. At the end of it, it's kind of dumb. Like the one thing that pissed me off then that pisses me off now, it's like all this terrible shit happens. All of Jessica Biel's friends have been massacred, and she could get away, but instead of getting away, she decides to go back and like save this baby who she doesn't even know, which to me is like seems like kind of ridiculous. But yeah, watching it now, it's not terrible. It's just I don't. It's gonna be a while before I watch it again. So how'd you feel about it?
So I wasn't sure what I was going to watch. Um, I was doing some research. This popped up, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I own this? So I go up into my attic where I keep my collection. I know people like physical media people around Earth right now are falling down, but I mean, I don't have space in my house. I don't have the biggest house in the world. So
I have
that's,
a lot. I probably have like 1,000 DVDs and Blu-rays, but they're all in like a book. I threw out all the covers
oh,
many
damn.
years ago because I just don't have the room, like you said. I like moved
Yeah.
a
So
hundred times since I started collecting DVDs, and like now they're all just like in a sleeve somewhere, like which makes it really it sucks. But like, what are you gonna do?
so I go up there and I look, and surprisingly I actually have this on DVD, and I have this really cool special edition. And when you open up the DVD, there's like this like kind of metal case in there that has like a stamp of Leatherface,
Oh, that's
and there's
cool.
also an envelope in there, and in the envelope are the crime scene photos from the film.
Oh, that's
So
neat. That's
yeah,
cool.
so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this movie because like I have no recollection of this film at all, even though I have this really cool, collectible DVD. I'm like, I don't remember the film. I'm like, so let me put it on. I put it on. You're right. It kind of starts the same. It has like I call them like 20 somethings, like 20
Right.
something year olds. They're traveling through Texas, trying to get to a concert. Brutal open. They pick up a stranger and that basically commits suicide in their van by like blowing a hole like right through the back of their head, and like all you see, like it was just the cinematography was crazy where you're just looking at like the glass broken behind the hole in the head, and there's just like brain and blood and gore. I mean, it was sick. I'm
It's
like,
a cool
man,
shot.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard. It's gonna be hard to screw this up. They screwed it up. So, there was a lot of things I liked, a lot of things I didn't like. Yeah, there's a lot of annoying characters. What I do find about all Texas films, and that's what we call it, Texas Chainsaw. We just call them Texas. Um, but I don't like the Texas family. I never do. I find all those characters like I can't even stand them for a second. It's like there's always someone yelling, there's always someone like fussing and being annoying, and I find that very it makes me very anxious when I'm trying to like watch something, and anytime they're like focusing on those characters, I get very annoyed very quickly. I have no patience at all. So I mean that's like my number one problem, and I don't think I mentioned it when we did the reboot of Texas because they didn't really show much
There
of
aren't any.
like the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no family in that
there's
one.
no family. So, but even the original Texas, I mean, just all the yelling and
There's a
all
lot
the
of yelling.
I just get annoyed. It just I can't stand it. And I know it's like blasphemy. It's Leatherface. I want to say it is a very cool Leatherface because Leatherface looks distinctly different in every single film. I think this is a cool looking Leatherface. I think it's a cool saw. It's always a different saw that they use, and a lot of times the saw isn't that cool, and you're like, "What the hell?" It's like this is it, you know. So I do like those aspects of it. I found the baby subplot very stupid and
Right.
weird. There was also some other like young kid
Oh, with the
um
fake teeth, like that
yeah,
was he
like
was awful.
feral kid that I found very annoying. um Definitely a brutal chainsaw action in this. And I thought the probably the coolest thing about this was probably the atmosphere. It looked real. I would say this cast in real life were dealing with unrelenting heat. Like seriously, Jessica Biel looked like she was gonna die in every single scene. Every single character looked extremely hot. So if that was like set design and makeup, kudos because I think it was real. I believe it was real, and I believe these people were doing all this filming when it was like 89 degrees at night. You know,
Right.
like it just seems so hot there. And I was like, God, it's sweltering. I'm like, it's got to be hard to do this. And it made me feel claustrophobic and like, oh man, imagine going through this. So I did like those aspects. Everything else I didn't like. So,
Yeah, no, it's again, it they made a simple story very complicated by just trying to throw a bunch of different things in there. And some of them work, a lot of them don't. I'm with you. Like these movies do give you a lot of there is a lot of yelling and the saw noise, and this is
oh,
it does get hard to watch. Yeah, this one like there's a reason why I haven't watched it in a long time, right? So and I probably won't for a long. Will I watch it again? I probably will put it on again at some point. I'll forget and I'll be like, "Oh, let me just check this out." But yeah, not for me at least right now where I'm at in life. So, wasn't terrible. For 2003, it's probably pretty good,
pretty
right?
good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm giving it a 2.
Yeah, it's a Michael Bay film, so you never know what you're gonna get with those.
Yeah.
They could be really cheesy, they could be good, action pack, whatever. Um, Jessica Biel could probably helped it a little bit. That our Lee Ernie guy, he was hysterical and also annoying.
Yeah,
So
he was annoying because he was yelling a lot, but he did have like some of the most like creepy moments in the movie
yeah,
because you didn't
yeah,
because
for sure.
he's unhinged, right? So you
Yeah,
didn't know what his character was gonna do. You just knew he was bad.
you
So
know he's a
like
bad guy.
when
He
you're
played the
watching the
bad
scenes with
guy.
yeah, when you're watching the scenes with him, you are like on the edge of your seat
Yeah,
because you don't know how far he's gonna take it. So
did it well.
he's the best part of the movie, I would say. And he's probably in it maybe a third of the movie, maybe give or take.
Yeah,
But he is also annoying too, like you said. Like he's
yeah, he's just
also
yeah, but I did like him. I'm gonna give it 2.5.
all right. What I give it?
Yeah.
2.5.
Yep.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Three more movies to go. Damn, this
Yeah,
is this.
we're getting close.
I thought this would be like a 20-minute episode, and we're kind of going. So what's next? What do we got?
No, yeah, we only got two more movies. That's
Three. We
easy.
got three, right? We got
No, we got
vampire, we
uh
got creature feature, and trapped, right?
Trap would be tonight. I didn't watch that yet.
Oh, you didn't do
So
that. Okay. All right.
yeah.
So two. All right. I
Okay.
did.
So
Okay.
two more movies. Yeah. So night five is creature feature. And why I chose this is because I normally don't like these types of films. I know a lot of people, they geek out over them, they love them. A lot of people go nuts. I'm not. I'm not one of those people. So I thought let's throw in a creature feature for the people who like it. And for me, who doesn't like it, and maybe I will. So
And did you?
well, I went with Jeepers Creepers
Okay.
from 2003, Victor Salva. And why I picked this film? It's pretty simple. I was in Walmart a couple weeks ago and I bought the glow in the dark edition of this film. and I bought a few, and this was one of them. And I'm like, this is a perfect excuse to open it up and watch it.
Okay.
So I did. I've definitely seen Jeepers Creepers before. I've probably seen it many, many times. I don't know if I ever critiqued it like this, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I like it. I like Jeepers Creepers. I think the killer is really, really cool, unique, has a great backstory, kind of scary at times. You don't really know what this killer is capable of. Has two main characters that you absolutely hate. Um, Played by Justin Long and Gina Phillips. I think
Already hate. Yeah.
yeah, I think they played two very, very hateable characters. And I just think they just keep driving it home where you're conflicted at times, where if you're rooting for these characters or if you just want them to die. And a lot of times I'm like, just die already and end this for me. Please stop this. And it just kept going. But I think especially the sister, the Trish, she basically sees everything that happens in this film and she just argues the whole time. And if anyone who hasn't seen this film, it's basically just like a brother and sister. They're on a road trip trying to get home. They come across a very suspicious character, dumping something down a well. Instead of minding their own damn business, they go back and investigate
Never happened
and
to me.
open up
I just keep
a
going.
can of worms that they probably wish they never did because you know this killer is, I mean, he's very focused. Like he doesn't let up. Like no matter what happens, he's going to keep coming after you. And I think that's really interesting. What's annoying is basically everyone around them gets killed except for them, and they're the targets. And that I find that very annoying because like he's like this super killer, and why is he killing literally everyone but them?
Yeah, like how
So
does he not kill Justin
it's
Long? It's not like he's
yeah,
like an MMA fighter.
yeah, it's kind of stupid. Other than that, though, it's probably a guilty pleasure for me. I do find it annoying. I find him like overly curious, like why you put yourself in this situation. I think Justin Long over acts in a lot of the scenes, so I think they kind of come off like cheesy because he's just so far beyond like what the reaction should be that he's just acting too hard to try to capture it, and I think it just comes off fake, not not scared. So yeah, it's an okay film. But I like it. There's something about it. Like if this is on, I'm
I
keeping
mean,
it on.
look, they made a bunch of them for a reason because people did like it or they liked the character. I've only seen it one time, and it was when it came out. I couldn't tell you one thing about the movie other than I know what the killer looks like because you see him in the cover art, and I remember Justin Long being in it. And I'm not a fan of his, so I would already kind of get annoyed at him. And if he's playing an annoying character, it probably makes it even worse for me. So this
Oh,
is a movie that I don't think I'll ever watch anytime soon. But again, I think I'm just a hater on it.
it's okay. Again, it's probably like
Yeah.
a guilty pleasure. If anything else, they play this like basically nonstop throughout October. It's just like one of those things. They'll be on like AMC or IFC channel like all day long. So you just end up kind of watching it. Um, I bought the DVD because I wanted some of these collectible ones,
Right. I
and
get it.
they didn't have a lot left. So I didn't have much of a choice, so I just
Right.
bought it. So I mean, and I'm like, when am I gonna watch this ever? I'm like, here we go, creature feature. Why not? Why not watch it? So, what did you watch?
Yeah. So creature feature, not always my genre either. There are definitely movies I like with monsters, but it's not something I kind of gravitate towards. I had an interesting choice, and I liked it way more than I thought I would. And I'm shocked that I actually did enjoy this movie. I'm gonna say I loved it, but I enjoyed it. I watched Wolfman from this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm shocked. And really, like the plot of it is this couple that's having problems. They have a daughter. The husband's dad is declared dead, so they go up
Mm.
to his house in Oregon to just clean up and sell it, I guess. And while they're there, they get attacked by a werewolf, and the husband slowly turns into a werewolf and has to make the choice of whether he wants to kill his family or not. What I liked about the movie, and werewolves are definitely not my thing. What I think they did a really good job of like you it's funny because I don't even remember the husband getting bit or attacked, but it happened. So like I might have zoned out for 10 seconds and missed this, but he kind of over the course of maybe 20, 30 minutes gradually turns into this werewolf. But they do it in a way where it's like you kind of get his point of view, like his perspective. So like all of a sudden he really can't talk or understand other people talking because now he's becoming like this werewolf. So like he's trying to talk and it's like the no one's understanding him, right? Or he
Mm.
can't hear what people are saying to him. And I thought they did a really good job of kind of showing like the panic of like this guy who loves his family and is trying to protect them from this creature, but something's happening to him and he doesn't understand it. And I thought they did really well at that. And the movie kind of starts off pretty much like right away. It's going and it's kind of action packed. There's a lot of stuff that happens. It's not really boring. Is it a great movie? Probably not. Like, but I did like it. I thought it was like
Really?
entertaining. I liked how it was done. The characters are really annoying. The husband's super annoying. The wife is kind of annoying too.
That's
Um,
what's her name that I don't care for.
yeah, Julia Garner,
Julia
who
Garner. I
I was
don't
having a
like.
conversation. I don't know how she keeps getting cast and stuff. Like she's in
Yeah,
everything, it
I
seems
can't
like,
stand her.
and I
I
don't think
really
she's
can't.
very good. She plays the same kind of character in all
Ugh.
of her movies. So like, if you don't like her, it's kind of hard to watch because she is the main
I didn't
protagonist.
like her
But
in Ozark. I don't like her now.
same. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her either, but I did like the movie. I don't know, and maybe I liked it
Really?
more because I thought I would hate it. I'm just like, this is gonna be terrible. But I'm like, it's short. Actually, it's 103 minutes. I thought it was shorter, but I'm like, let me just get through this and watch it. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of into this. Like, it was a different take on that kind of movie that I liked. I thought it was well done. There's even like a scene early on where he just hears this like loud noise and it's like this boom, boom, boom. And he tries to figure out what it is. And he goes into like upstairs and it's like just a spider moving. But like because his hearing
Whoa.
is like so sensitive, like he hears it, which opens some plot holes because then if that's super loud, then why is he not going deaf from people talking? But that's besides the point. But yeah, no, I liked it. I would actually I'm gonna give it a much higher rating than I thought I would,
Really?
which is yeah. So I know you didn't like it, right? 'Cause you saw it a while ago.
I watched like half of it and I couldn't get through it. I maybe wasn't in the right mindset. There was a lot of buzz going on about it at the time, and I'm like, let me just check this. So I didn't get to see the whole thing. But I could say I didn't like it, but maybe I should have watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of get the gist of it, right? I mean, it does like, there is like werewolf on werewolf fighting, like, so which is a lot of
There
the
is.
movie is,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
because at some point the husband turns full wolf and then he's fighting the other werewolf to protect his family. So there's like a lot of that kind of stuff happening. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Would I recommend it? I don't know if I'd recommend it to people because like it's probably not going to be for everybody, but I'm happy I watched it. So I'm gonna give it a 3,
Wow.
which is surprising. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
3.
So yeah, and you watched Jeepers Creepers. What are you gonna give that
Yeah.
one?
Matching you. It's getting
All
it's
right.
getting a 3. I think
Jeez.
Jeepers Creepers is slightly better than terrible.
Okay. It's a B minus, right? Or a B. It's a B.
It's a solid B. It would pass. It would pass my class.
All right.
So we have one more left. I know I might have mentioned yesterday that I was going to watch a movie, but I didn't. So
Okay, cool. I'm
I'm
ahead you
only
then.
on night yeah I'm only on night 6, which I did complete last night. So night 6 again was another genre that I probably wouldn't normally pick because I don't really like these types of movies, but I thought I've been having some good experiences with them recently, so I throw it in there. So night 6, vampire films.
So here's the thing. I always say I'm not a fan of vampire films, but then when I was trying to pick out one to watch, there's so many that I like.
Oh, see,
Like
there you
there's a
go.
lot of vampire films that I really love, and like I don't know if it's I like them because they're vampire movies or just they're just well done movies that just happen to have vampires. So I'm gonna stop saying I'm not a fan of vampire films because I think whenever I think of vampires, I'm like, oh, like thinking of Twilight or like just
Yeah.
some other basic shit. But there's really well done movies, and if they do it right, like where you really get a person turning into a vampire and what that conflict does to them. And yeah, I actually had a hard time picking out one to watch because I wanted to pick out something I liked for this one because I watched so many fucking terrible movies like so far. But it was like, which one do I pick? And I ended up picking a movie that I hadn't seen in a very long time. But I remember liking it, so I wanted to check it out again. I watched Near Dark
Oh, Near
from
Dark.
1987,
So
which
that's a
is directed by
classic. Yeah.
Catherine Bigelow. It's basically this guy in Oklahoma picks up this young girl from she's outside eating ice cream. He picks her up to give her a ride home. The guy's like trying to bone. She's like keeps pushing him away. He's being kind of actually like a little aggressive, right? He
Mm.
just like doesn't understand why won't you kiss me? Why won't you kiss me? Long story short, she turns him into a vampire, and then she has this like family of vampires, and they kind of pick him up and try to like train him to kill like them. But of course, he's like kind of like a goody guy, and then kind of eventually kind of turns on the family of vampires, and they all kind of fight to basically the death. It's like a love story in a vampire film, and man, I really like this movie, and I'm shocked I don't watch it more because
Mm.
I really like it. I like the vibe of it a lot. The music's really good. The actors are all really good. It's like got some really clever parts to it. I would say it's to me as like a filmmaker, like it's a near perfect movie. I
Wow.
would say the one problem, and I would say for 87, it's perfect. The one problem I have is the writing gets a bit sloppy, especially towards like the end. Like there's a certain things that happen that like are too coincidental. Like there's just no way these
Oh, some
these
banana
events.
peels.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of banana
Yeah.
peels, and like it
Oh.
ends up being a little ridiculous.
Oh.
However, I will say it's 1987. Like it wasn't really necessarily about the writing being perfect. It was more about the vibe and these characters and
Mm.
just like making a cool moment that really kind of fits that time. So
Wow.
I really like this movie a lot. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while. It holds up to me. It's really good. If you could put aside some of the banana peels towards the end, I think it's really good. I This is like one of the best movie I watched in this challenge by far.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
So I love Near Dark. It's really, and you could see how Catherine Bigelow went on to be like an Oscar-winning filmmaker because it's very stylistic and it's very cool. And it's very 80s, very 80s.
So I have seen this film before, but I haven't seen it in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
At least something about it, maybe it's the name, maybe it's the vampire aspect, something keeps me from watching it. But after a review like that, maybe I'm sleeping on it. And what I learned in the past is I need to stop sleeping on things just because of some sort of notion that I have. Because the last episode we talked about Trick or Treat, and I could have been watching it all these years, and I only got to enjoy it for 2 years because I've been hating on it. So I will revisit it. I don't remember much about it. What I do remember is maybe that it was kind of gritty.
It's
Am I
very
wrong
gritty.
about it?
Yeah.
Gritty, and maybe that kind of sometimes that turns me off depending on what the grit is about, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, it's
So,
gritty and it all takes place at night, right? Because it's vampires, so
oh,
it's
okay.
dark and it's yeah. And like again, I knew I liked this movie, and every now and then I'll be like, I'll only put it on, and I talk myself out of it, and I don't know why I took myself out of it. Now I'm not going to talk myself out of it because like it holds up. Yeah, check it
Man,
out. Let me know what you think.
yeah. I definitely gotta check it out. I didn't pick a classic like that. I too was looking at many vampire films and realized there was a lot that I haven't seen, a lot that I have seen and liked. And turns out I do like vampire films
Who
as
knew? That's what this
well.
challenge is all about,
And
right? You like remember or you learn things that you didn't really know you liked.
Yeah, and let me tell you what some of my choices were. Let me grab my notebook here, and then I'll tell you what I ended up with. So on my list, I had Fright Night, and it could have been the original or the remake because
Yeah, I've never seen
I
either,
don't
but
remember either. A film that I like a lot, From Dusk Till Dawn, which I think is a fantastic film.
can't go
There's
wrong with
a
that.
super sexy film that I used to watch with like an ex all the time called Embrace of the Vampire.
Oh, with Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, man, that shit's sexy as fuck. I'm like, maybe
Oh
I'll
yeah.
get into something like that. And then just a film that a lot of people kind of like and give a lot of buzz about is like 30 Days of Night, which I haven't seen in a long time. I don't remember what I felt about it, but a lot of people say it's one of the best vampire films out there. So I didn't choose any of those, Rich.
Okay. And there's also some other really good ones you could have picked too that like come to mind, but you didn't pick a one of these classics or
No,
one
no,
people talk about.
I did not. Let me tell you what I did choose, Rich. I chose Lost Boys 3, The Thirst.
That is a random ass choice. Lost Boys, the three. Shout out to Melissa, Melissa Rose, who we know is a huge Lost Boys fan. I
Oh,
don't know how
I
she
don't know
feels
if
about
she
part
likes The
three.
Thirst. I don't know,
So
but
you know what? So here's the thing. I do think I've actually seen that one, and I was at Comic Con one year when it was the year it came out, and they did a screening of it one night, and I remember being drunk, and I went to the screening of it, but I don't remember anything because I was plastered, so I don't remember one thing about other than Corey Feldman and the other guy is in it. That's all I remember.
yeah,
And
yeah, for sure. So, to preface this, that same day that I was at Walmart buying the glow in the dark edition of Jeepers Creepers, there wasn't a lot to choose from, so I also bought the uh glow in the dark trilogy of the Lost Boys, and the smart choice would have been just to put on the Lost Boys. Could have just did that.
easy, you
But
know, you like it.
no, I like it, but I went with something different. I went with part three. Went in blind, had no idea the thirst. So this actually does not have a bad rating on on IMDb. It's like five
Shocking.
something, high fives. So I was like, all right, how bad could it be? It's 2010. So if you want to know when you're at that con, um, it takes place years later, after the original Lost Boys, and really, he's now a hermit, uh, Edgar Frog, who's Corey Feldman. He's basically contacted by a woman who's looking for her brother who disappeared at a rave.
Okay.
Turns
Known
out,
plenty of people that disappeared at
yeah,
raves back in the day.
turns out that the host of the rave is this vampire, and he's using these parties to turn teens into an army of vampires. And the next party just happens to be landing in Corey Feldman's town.
Of course.
And he needs to go there and basically save the brother and stop this from happening and save all of mankind. And that is a lot to put on Edgar Frog's shoulders,
I mean,
you
if anyone
know?
can do it, though,
I mean, yeah, and he definitely embraced his inner Rambo for this character. He was using like this deep kind of low voice, and he's much older now. This is 2010. I could be honest, I think he did okay. Um, it's basically just him. The other frog brother is now a vampire and is in hiding because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's a vampire. But Corey Feldman will still visit him, and it's still his brother. Uh, they go and they take on this army of vampires, and they buy all these weird weapons that are basically like souped up super soakers and things like that. Um, and you know what? There's a lot of good vampire kills. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of nudity. And I think it's an interesting plot. So this was definitely not
it
as
sounds campy as
bad.
hell, but I would
Yeah,
probably watch it.
it's not even close to as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's very, very, very watchable. and I thought I was gonna be just like completely like tuned out, not even paying attention. I watched it, man, front to back,
Damn.
and I had to know, who was gonna win, Corey Feldman and Mankind or the
Don't
vampires.
spoil it.
So I'm not gonna spoil it, but I think it makes a good watch. I was shocked because it's like definitely third in a really an unknown series because
Right.
people really only
Yeah,
know
no one knows that they
the
made sequels to
first
begin
one.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only really know the first one. Uh, I I I don't want to say I was impressed, but I was impressed that it wasn't like literally the worst film I've ever seen in my life. So
That's how I felt about Wolfman.
yeah.
Like, would I watch it again? I don't know, but like the fact that I didn't want to kill myself while watching it, like, gives it a three, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, seriously. I
It
say
sounds
watch
fun.
it.
It sounds
I
fun.
say
It
watch
sounds,
it.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah, I
campy.
mean, it's Corey Feldman. You either like him or you don't. I do. I like him. I think he's funny.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think he got this character and kind of developed it a little bit from what little we know about it. I think it's a good addition. Is it a classic? It definitely is not a classic. It's never going to take over for the original Lost Boys. But if you love the Lost Boys, you probably get into this a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely check it out. Like, I've always been curious about how the sequels are, just knowing they're different films. They're not like trying to do the same thing. They're trying to go in
Yeah.
like direct to video
I,
kind of land
I
where
don't even
it's
know why I skipped. I went right to three, Rich.
yeah, I know you didn't watch the
like
second one
I'm
because
like
three's
fuck.
probably the worst one you'd
Yeah,
think, right?
like when you think of most like franchises, three is rarely the high water mark.
Yeah, yeah. It
It's like
usually gets worse. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm like, nah, man, fuck it. I'm going three. I'm skipping
that's
two.
balls, man.
I'm going right to three, and I was pleasantly surprised.
All right, so what would you give it 0 to 5?
I'm giving it 2.5
Okay, it's
with
average.
with the point 0.5 on watchability because you could definitely watch this movie again. It was fun if you just like watching like vampires splatter all over the place and stuff like that. It's stupid. It's
Yeah.
so it's just
Yeah, no, I think I'd probably get into it. So I'm gonna give Near Dark a pretty good rating. I'm actually gonna give it
uh-oh.
4.5.
Whoa. Highest of the
Because
night for
yeah,
you.
it's pretty perfect, right? I wish it was written a little better, like, and there wasn't the banana peels. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, it's like watchable and it's like a movie I haven't seen before. So 4.5 for that, 2.5 for me.
Yeah,
Let's cheers to
cheers.
that. So I went ahead at night, and I know the next night, tonight's theme actually is trapped or lost horror,
Lost.
and we
Yes.
could talk about it next time. But I did watch The Descent from 2005,
Mm, mm.
which I will say is one of the biggest slow burn movies of all time. But it's a slow burn, but it's interesting and not boring at the same time. So we could talk about that a little bit next time. What are some other categories that are coming up? I haven't really
Uh,
looked that far ahead.
Yeah, so I do actually have my film picked out, and
Oh, cool.
it is getting a late. So I hope it's a quick film. But I'm going to watch this film called Drive Back, which is basically people who get lost and trapped in a forest due to some paranormal activity. So I think it checks off the theme fairly well. After that, again, is one I like, but also a tough one to find a good film that's going to keep you interested because they go in so many different directions. But night eight would be folk or
Okay.
folklore
That's a genre you're
horror.
really into. I'm
I'm into, but it's hard to find the right film. When you find the right film, brilliant. When you
yeah.
get the wrong film, probably the worst movie you're ever going to see in your entire life.
Yeah, they're usually a little slow.
Um, we got some exciting stuff coming up, 2025 film. So
Okay.
I'm hoping people take the opportunity to watch something that's maybe in the theaters, perhaps, or something that just came out. And I think rounding it out would be your choice, any film. So if things have been going horribly wrong for you, like they have been going for Rich, this is your opportunity to kind of log off of the challenge and be like, let me grab my comfort film, let me grab my favorite film that's clearly not on this list. Let me watch, Friday 13th Part 4, which is not on this list,
Do you have
and have the
comfort film on
opportunity to
this
watch it.
list? Because last
So
year I think we
no,
had comfort
no,
film.
no,
So this
we,
kind
we
of
don't.
replaces
We
that, right?
no, yeah, we don't have that. We're missing a lot of big, themes that we usually do. There's no slasher film on here or anything like that. That's usually one that's been on for like probably the last 10, 15 years. Definitely want to, again, I said this last time, definitely want to make this more custom, make this more about the person, the viewer, and let them really pick movies that are meaningful to them with these new categories. And also I want to add some modern stuff. Horror's changed in the last
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, where a slasher isn't like, it's not the end all be all of horror films. There's so many other things you could be watching, so why not take this opportunity to do that? Because you could just watch your favorite slasher. You could watch, Nightmare on Elm Street. You could watch Friday 13th in November.
Yeah. You can watch that shit anytime.
Yeah, you go literally watch it anytime. So I just want to give people like the opportunity to watch some different stuff, and that's why we definitely added some new stuff, like like AI horror or techno horror, and that could be really anything. That could kind of like overlap sci-fi. That could overlap like a lot of things that are going on right now, very modern. So I want to give some light to that, and maybe bring people out of their comfort zone and watch something new, because like, are those types of films I would gravitate towards? Absolutely not.
Yeah, you're never gonna
So
watch Lost Boys 3 on like a random Tuesday.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
All right, so that's the first 6 days of Jerry's horror challenge. You could see the full list of films on either the Horrorheads Facebook group or our Instagram, which is Horrorheads Podcast. Follow us there. You could also email us your choices. We recommend you all post what your choices are that you watch, and we could kind of check out what everybody else is watching. But you could also email us to horrorheadspodcast@gmail.com. That's it for us tonight. The next episode, we're probably going to talk more challenge films. If something new comes out that we check out that's off the challenge, we'll probably talk about that. But yeah, let's cheers to getting out of here. I'm a lot drunker than I thought I'd be at the beginning of this, but it's fine. All right, have a good night, everybody. Enjoy the challenge.
Cheers.
Peace.